Because this evaluation tool, the DYOR evaluation tool I use, sometimes it can be brutal. But for a project like Drip Drops platform, to score something like that, knocking on the door of projects like Ethereum and Cosmos, Cardano is a little bit further up the road. That is quite impressive, because this is, for me, it is unbiased the way I'm applying it. When you're applying this, you may have biases, but you want to stay away from any bias. You want to be as objective as you can. Drip Drops could go to zero, but so could Bitcoin, so could Cardano, so could be Ethereum. So that said, it means Drip Drops is traveling in good company in some of the blue chip projects. Time will tell whether Drip Drops can hold its own, but for today, we think it's got that potential to stay within that category. Stay close, stick to the coattails of the blue chip. It could go to zero, but so could other projects. Guys, what do you think? Do you think this is a fair reflection of the Drip Drops platform and its drip token? Could it go to zero? Of course, because it's a relatively risk project. Over time, it will with more utility, but as of this moment, there is less scope for the upside, but time will tell. Heads off to the Drip Drops team for what they are doing for the Cardano community. I'm sure everyone within the Cardano community appreciates your hard work. Hi guys, this is FD for Sage5.tv. So what is Drip Drop? Drip Drop is a token dispensing platform for the Cardano ecosystem. Its purpose is to provide token dispensing services to the Cardano community. It is an intuitive platform that offers projects a comprehensive selection of distribution parameters. They welcome projects of all sizes and into the distribution ecosystem, and whoever delegates their ADA to the qualifying stake pools get to be rewarded by Drip Drop, as well as being provided the ability to withdraw a variety of other tokens whilst remaining delegated to a community stake. Which team is behind Drip Drop? Currently, it's a company that is behind Drip Drop, which makes it centralized. So the company at the moment behind Drip Drops is a company called Drip Drops LCC. LCC stands for Limited Liability Company. Got 12 employees. There are currently 52 tokens, and there's been 339,267 withdrawals via the Drip Drops website, and it's also have registered users of just over 13,000. Like I said, the company has got 12 employees and is based in the United States. And what's impressive for me is its commitment to try and distribute 100% of the Drip tokens, which is the token for the Drip Drops platform, 100% of the Drip tokens to the community. That is quite impressive, okay? But it also means that it's going to be a very long road, which means as I did my research, my light research this afternoon, basically came up to less than 1% of the maximum tokens available that have been distributed so far. So it will fall foul of some of the elements within our risk evaluation tool. So what we're going to do today is to apply the 13 elements to Drip Drops. These 13 elements help us make a decision before we invest into a project. It might be a project we head through the rumor mill, we head via Twitter or via YouTube, and then we do our own research applying this toolkit that I use to do my own research, and is aptly named DYOR Risk Evaluation Toolkit. That is there to help you. You can tweak it to whichever way you want, but it's there to help you. It's not a one-size-fits-all. Some of the parameters might need modifying to suit your risk levels or your risk appetite. So let's get into it. 13 elements we are going to be looking at are as follows. Decentralization, we'll look at whether Drip Drops is decentralized. Security, how secure is the Drip Drop platform or the project? Scaling, does it scale? What about interoperability? Does it work across its own boundaries and outside Cardano blockchain? What about the project team? Are they available on public platforms? Do they engage with their communities and stuff? And then we look at social media via Twitter and via Discord. What about the age of the project? How old is Drip Drops? And then use cases. Does Drip Drop platform has any use cases? Which, as you can tell from the brief introduction I did, yes, there is some use cases to the Drip Drop token. And then tokens issued at launch. We're looking at how many tokens have been issued at launch, have been issued up to this point, and then how many tokens are in circulation, and also look at the maximum tokens available. Do we have a hard cap? And then inside the token allocation. So let's get started. Decentralization. Is Drip Drops, the platform, decentralized? As I've already mentioned in my introduction, this is run by a company with around 12 employees, so it is very much centralized. But the fact that they are aiming for decentralization, based on the fact that they are aiming for transferring from an LLC to a DAO, decentralized autonomous organization, that gives us hope. So all the token holders will be, will have a say in how the project is run, in how the platform is run. So that is always a good sign. So based on that alone, on their ambition, not on what's currently happening, we're going to give them 2.5 points out of 10. What about security? Drip Drops is built on the Cardano blockchain, so it is relatively secure. And scaling, again, so far we haven't had any issues, and we don't know whether in the future Drip Drops might be extended. If anything, Drip Drops have actually been testing Cardano scaling capabilities. So it's doing a fantastic job in that because it brings in a lot of traffic, but I like their method of grouping tokens, putting them into a basket and transferring them as a single transaction. I think that is a very smart move because it saves a lot. It saves a lot of resources. It saves a lot of money in terms of transaction fee. Currently, you can transfer a maximum of 10 tokens within a single transaction. So that is very good. So on scaling, we're going to give it 5 out of 10. What about interoperability? At the moment, we can go with what Cardano is doing because apart from dispensing multiple Cardano native tokens, I haven't seen anywhere where it claims to have the capability or intention to be distributing tokens outside of the Cardano blockchain. If there is, I will apologize in advance. I have not come across that yet, but I'm hoping when I do, because I am going to do follow-up deep dives where I'm looking at the projects in detail, I may be able to dig deeper and get different information. But based on the information we have today, we're going to give it 5 points out of 10. What about the project team? Like we said, they've got 12 employees or so, and they're available. They're on their website and they engage on Twitter and so forth. So we are going to give them 7.5 points out of 10. And social media via Twitter, like I said, they're engaging with their community and the wider Cardano community. So we are going to give Drip Drops platform 5 points out of 10 in terms of Twitter presence. What about Discord presence? Do they have a community? Yes, they do, but they have just over 3,500 members Discord. So our criteria for that element, states that we should give them 2.5% out of 10, which is 25% of the points available. And the age of the project, Drip Drops is a relatively new project. It was launched 4th quarter of 2021. Therefore, we are going to give it 2.5 points out of 10. What about use cases? So use cases, there are 2 key use cases that I've identified. One of them will be governance, where the holders of the Drip token are going to be involved in the governance of the platform, where they'll be deciding which projects to onboard and which projects to get rid of as far as performance is concerned. So I think using the Drip for governance, Drip voting, I think that is a strong use case, because I sincerely believe that DAOs or decentralized autonomous organizations are going to be a thing of the future. They are going to be huge. And the other use case is going to be that the Drip token is going to be the only token that will be used on the Drip Drop platform, which means we might get to a point where the Drip token will be used to pay for transaction fees. I'm not sure about that, but based on their claim that that is going to be the only token to be used on the Drip Drops platform, I'm just making that assumption that it will be the token for the Drip Drops platform, and it will be the token to be used, whether it's for transaction fees or maybe they might decide to bring NFTs or other things in the future. So those 2 use cases to be used as a utility token on the Drips platform, as well as for governance, i.e. Drip voting. I think those are 2 strong cases. There are certain projects out there that do not have anywhere near that level of use cases, apart from speculation and so forth. But the Drip token, it looks like it's going to have some fundamental use cases, i.e. voting and utility. So on use cases, we are going to give it 7.5 points out of 10 because those 2 are quite huge. Not many projects have got voting rights using their token. What about tokens issued at project launch? Based on the fact that they are aiming to issue 100% of their tokens to the public, that sways whatever metric we are going to come up with, because they are doing it per epoch, where they are issuing freely to the public 1,000 to each qualifying wallet, i.e. a wallet that is taking to a community stake pool and is taking a minimum of 10. It is qualified to claim 1,000 tokens per wallet per each epoch. So to us, that is very impressive. That is a very good thing. So we are going to say, even though they've got a hard cap on their total supply, so far you are looking at just under 250,000 that have been issued so far, which is less than a percentage point. So we are going to go with, so far they've issued approximately less than 1 percentage point. That's how much they've issued to the community. So it's going to be a marathon. It's going to be a long road, but I think that is a fair way of doing it. So we are still going to go ahead and give them 7.5 points out of 10. What about total tokens in circulation? Total tokens in circulation, there is no data out there. You can't get it from anywhere apart from going via the Drip platform, where again, like I said, it's less than 1% of maximum available. So we are going to give it 2.5 points out of 10. Maximum tokens available, they've got a hard cap, which is a good thing, but the hard cap is set at 45 billion, which is very high. And our criteria for that element says we should give them 2.5 points out of 10 for anything between 2 billion and 50 billion. Inside the token allocation, like I explained during the introduction, they are aiming to give 100% of their tokens to the community. 100%. That is impressive. So we are going to give them 10 out of 10. Having had the 13 elements applied to the Drip Drops platform for risk evaluation to see if it's a worthy project, at the moment it's more than worthy because it's free to the community. But what if people wanted to invest more, to buy more tokens. This is what this is all about. This is not about for the free tokens you're getting, apply risk. No, you're not applying anything because you're getting them for free. It's for the future. But if you wanted to add more to your bag, your free bag, this is what you probably want to consider. So decentralization, we gave it 2.5 points out of 10. Security, we gave it 7.5 points out of 10. Scaling, we get 5 points out of 10. Interoperability, we gave it 5 points out of 10. Our project team, we gave it 7.5 points out of 10. Social media, i.e. Twitter, we gave it 5 points out of 10. Social media, i.e. Discord, we gave it 2.5 points out of 10. Age of the project, we gave it 2.5 points out of 10. Use cases, we gave it 7.5 points out of 10. Tokens issued at project launch, we gave it 7.5 points out of 10. Tokens in circulation, we gave it 2.5 points out of 10. Maximum tokens available, we gave it 2.5 points out of 10. And lastly, insider token allocation, we gave it 10 points out of 10, which gives us a grand total of 67.5. That is impressive, okay? Because this evaluation tool, the DYOR evaluation tool I use, sometimes it can be brutal. But for a project like DripDrop's platform, to score something like that, knocking on the door of projects like Ethereum and Cosmos, Cardano is a little bit further up the road. That is quite impressive because this is, for me, it is unbiased for me, for the way I'm applying it. When you're applying this, you may have biases, but you want to stay away from any bias. You want to be as objective as you can. So for me to score 67.5 out of 130 is quite impressive. That puts DripDrops into the 65 to 89 points out of 130, which means it could go to zero, but so could Bitcoin, so could Cardano, so could be Ethereum. So that said, it means DripDrops is traveling in good company in some of the blue chip projects. Time will tell whether DripDrops can hold its own, but for today, we think it's got that potential to stay within that category. Stay close, stick to the coattails of the blue chip. It could go to zero, but so could other projects. Guys, what do you think? Do you think this is a fair reflection of the DripDrops platform and its drip token? Could it go to zero? Of course, because it's a relatively risk project, okay? Especially if they are still giving tokens for free, you cannot expect the value to increase on that basis. Over time, it will with more utility, but as of this moment, there is less scope for the upside, but time will tell. Anyway, guys, what do you think? Do you think this is a good reflection of what DripDrop's potential is, what it is today, and what it's going to achieve in the future? Comments down below. Guys, don't forget to click like and subscribe as well as smash that notification bell. And also do your own research before making any moves on DripDrops, okay? Thank you very much, guys, and heads off to the DripDrops team for what they are doing for the Cardano community. I'm sure everyone within the Cardano community appreciates your hard work. Thank you very much for now, guys. Bye.